Muy bien, perfecto. Pues ya hemos descansado, hemos tomado un café, hemos relajado las neuronas un rato y entramos en la última parte de la sesión, que no por ser la última es menos interesante, de hecho yo creo que es interesantísima, porque vamos a hablar sobre el mercado, sobre los mercados locales del sur de Europa. Normalmente en las conferencias se habla mucho sobre Austria, sobre Alemania, pero a nosotros nos interesa mucho conocer cómo son nuestros vecinos y los países que tienen la misma problemática que nosotros. Es una estacionalidad más acusada, zonas grandes que no consumen mucho pellet, una materia prima que es un poquito más complicada a la hora de pelletizar, bueno, todo esto. Entonces, al fin, ¿quién mejor que los representantes nacionales de cada uno de estos países? Y vamos a empezar con el más sexy de todos en el momento, que es Italia, y es Annalisa Paniz. Italia is the sexy, don't and yeah, you also.
We will see. Okay.
Y es un caso de éxito impresionante en el mercado del pellet y además que nos va a dar pistas de hacia dónde va España. Analista.
Okay. Hola. Sorry, my Spanish is finished. So, okay, my presentation will be focused on the situation of the Italian pellet market in terms of production, consumption, importation, and support schemes. Before starting, I would like to introduce you very briefly our association, which is not only a pellet association. We are more or less like Avebium in Spain. We are a wood energy chain association with more than 300 members. From 2011, we are organized in working groups. We have the groups of biomass producers, the group of wood pellet traders and producers with the certification, with the EM+ certification. Of course, we have a group for solid biomass, small-scale heating systems, and a group of boilers producers. The last group we created is the group of installers, and in the coming future we will create a new group, the group of plant designer. Okay, for me it's quite interesting to see the market, the Italian market, from an international point of view. As Christian Rakos said at the beginning of this afternoon, last year the pellet production reached 25 million tons, mainly coming from Europe and North America, United States and Canada. Of course, pellet market is even more a global market, an international market, and the importation from US and Canada in the coming years will be very important for the European market, both for heating generation and for power generation. Last year, for the first time in Europe, the consumption for heating generation was higher than the consumption for electricity power generation. 10 million tons of pellet were consumed for heating generation, and 9 million were consumed for power generation. If we consider these 10 million tons of pellet used for heating generation, we should keep in mind that only 6 countries cover more or less 90% of the market share. Of course, Italy is at the first place with more than 3 million tons. Other important markets are Germany, Austria, France, Denmark, and Sweden. Last year, in 2013, the export from North America, both US and Canada, was more or less around 5 million tons. 90% of this exportation was for the European market. Other countries of destination are Korea and Japan. So 98% of the total exports from US and Canada are for the European market, and now, last year, Italy represented more or less the 7% of the total share of the exportation from North America. But this share is probably will increase in the next year. And we import more pellets from Canada, than from US. Okay. In the last 2.5 years, we imported more or less 600,000 tons from US and Canada. Okay, now it's time of the Italian figures. As I said before, Italy is the biggest European market for heating generation. Last year, the total consumption was around 3.2 million tons, 96% for the domestic or for the residential consumption. Around 2.4 million tons were consumed in pellet stoves, and around 800,000 tons were consumed in domestic boilers. It's very interesting to see or to look at the number behind this huge consumption. We have more or less 2 million tons of pellet stoves installed in our country, more or less 200,000 residential boilers, and the other two markets are the commercial boilers and the big plants, but these two markets are still niche markets. According to the market growth expectation, in 2015, our consumption will reach more or less 3.5 million tons of pellet of consumption. Our annual growth is around 300,000 tons every year. It's important to keep in mind that around 50% of the total biomass domestic installation, which are around 10 million of heating systems, are fed with pellets. Now we look to the two most important Italian markets, pellet stoves and boilers markets. Pellet stoves are still the lead market in Italy. We can say that the Italian market is a mature market with a very strong competition. Of course, the Italian companies are leader of the market, but we have also some important Spanish companies operate in our market. Last year, in 2013, the selling of pellet stoves reached around 270,000 units. So this market is still increasing and will increase probably also in the next year. Last year, we had a strong increase in sales from very big retailers. Okay, now we look at the residential pellet boilers. According to our estimation, in 2014, the selling of these residential boilers will be more or less around 15,000 units, mainly without pneumatic feeding systems, so probably medium quality pellet boilers. In the last 6 years, over 80,000 biomass boilers were sold, and we can say that pellet is the market leader for boilers up to 100 kilowatt. We skip this. Of course, Italy is an import-oriented country. Unfortunately, production and consumption have an opposite trend. Last year, we produced no more than 300,000 tons compared to a consumption that was more than 3 million tons. This means that in the worst case, we should import more than 2 and 8 million tons every year. Of course, the production is not enough for covering our domestic consumption. Last year, the domestic production covered no more than 9% of the whole domestic consumption. Where is located the production? The production is mainly located in the northeast of Italy, in two main regions. The production was, as I said before, around 300,000 tons. The certified production was around 200,000 tons. EM Plus certification is a very important market driver for our market. And now we have 30 certified companies, production company and trading companies. So Italy is the biggest importer for residential use. In this graph, you can see the importation in the last 2.5 years. As you can see, we imported mainly from Europe, but starting from 2013, the importation from North America and Russia and other main East countries is increasing. In 2012, these are official data from Eurostat, and probably these are not realistic. This means that we imported more than the official data, what the official data say. In 2012, we imported more or less 1.3 million tons, mainly, of course, from Europe. Last year, in 2013, we imported around 1.8 million tons. And as you can see in the comparison between these two graphs, the share of importation from North America, US and Canada is increasing. In 2012 was around 7%, last year was around 11%. And for 2014, this share will increase more. Okay, Austria is still our mainly supplier of pellets, but other countries are increasing their importance in our market supplying. For the end consumers, it's very important to have some information about the primary energy cost. In this graph, we put a comparison between primary energy cost for pellets in orange bars and other heating fuels, both fossil fuels and wood fuels. As you can see, in Italy there are no differences between pellet in small bags and pellets in bulk, delivered with a silo truck. But for this winter season, probably we estimate an increase of the natural gas prices, and probably this will be very important for the pellet market. Okay, before arriving to the conclusion, just very few information about the support schemes in our country. We don't have specific support schemes for pellets, but we have two different schemes supporting the use of biomass as heating fuels. We have the tax deduction and the feed-in tariff for heating and cooling. This feed-in tariff is very important. It came in force in January 2013, and it is for the replacement of heating system fed with heating oil, coke, or biomass, not of course natural gas, because the natural gas lobby in Italy is very strong, with new renewable energy system biomass, and this means that pellet boilers could be a very important role in these feed-in tariff systems. Just to give you an example, if you have an old wood log stoves of about 10 kilowatt, and you are in a city in the north of Italy, for example, Milan or Bologna or other important city of in north of Italy, you can receive for this replacement between 1,000 to 1,500 euro in 2 years. And in the case of pellet boilers, if you decided to change your old biomass boilers or, I don't know, heating oil boilers, you can receive between 3,000 to 4,500 euro in 2 years. So this could be a very important scheme for supporting the use of pellet for heating purposes in our country. Now, just what we can say about the the Italian market. Italian market is the biggest European market for the domestic use of pellet, but Italy is depending strongly from the importation. The market logistic and organization are changing, and in the close future, North America, so US and Canada, will become the major suppliers for our market. Of course, the security of supply and the stability of prices are the main challenges for the market actors for the coming future. That's all for me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.